play with a bag that you can afford to go to zero. Because when you can afford to go to zero, you're in it for the education, not stressing that you have to make a flip, because that fucks everyone up.
You got your perspective. I just want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy?
Hey, what's up, Gary?
I'm well, brother. Good to see you.
You too, man. You too. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I know you mentioned in the Crypto Strikers Discord, maybe you wanted to talk a little bit about strikers. So I'm sure there's a lot of people from the community here, but I'm super down to just chat about it real quick. And yeah, I love soccer. So, you know me, it's like the perfect project. When I found it, I was like so psyched.
I love that. Yeah, I'm just doing Q&A, brother. I don't necessarily have any questions. I've spent fucking 150 hours studying striker.
Cool.
So
no. And then in that case, I got a question for you. So,
please.
Like with Crypto Strikers, like obviously there's not that much supply of it right now. People are still, you know, wrapping and having more supply. Like, do you think that, like, for you, it's obviously a long-term play and everything, but is there any type of Crypto Strikers? How do you decide what you're buying over there? Because like, I know that you know a lot about sports, but do you have any little thesis that may be up your sleeve that you think people are overlooking on Crypto Strikers, or in general when you look at a project?
In general, I always look at math and I always make subjective calls on art, right? Or culture. And so it's always a mix. I think some people go too far in one direction or the other, right? Like, oh, this has bubble gum, but 80% have bubble gum. And then that's maybe not as good in this situation. So I do a lot of math and art analyzation. I think with things like sports, you can't really play the same way you play CryptoPunks or things where there's subjectivity. Like Mbappe is going to be better than Ericsson, and Messi's going to be better than, you know, Chico Hernandez. But there's still going to be people that are going to be interested in it. I think a lot of people are making big to do that a lot of the tokens haven't hit the OpenSea yet. My favorite thing about the blockchain is I know there's slightly over 10,000 tokens. I know that there's, 13 Messi iconics or whatever the number is. Like the math is there. And so I think I do think people FOMO into products too much and projects. Like, I think people have to be thoughtful about that, but I'm incredibly interested. And I've been saying this over and over, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen this, and feel free to say I've seen it or head nod here on the screen. Like, I believe that we're now in the summer of projects. Like, there are way too many projects coming out every day. And so while this is happening, while I still want to get my fix as a collector and as a learner, I'm spending more time looking back at 2017, 18, and 19 and finding OG projects. A, because I like learning and I like history. B, as somebody who'd prefer not to lose money. I've worked fucking 30 years super hard for the money I have, no matter how much of it I have. I'm not in the business of losing it. And I think it's much more interesting to, bet on some OG shit than it is on the stuff that's coming out every day right now. I'm incredibly concerned about the projects that are coming out every day right now. Even the ones that are
so trash.
Yeah, it's less about trash. It's just human behavior, right? It's supply and demand. The community is going to keep growing, but everybody here, if this is the first time you've been at the forefront of one of these big moments, this is going to take a long time. This is not like September 19th, everybody is going to be buying NFTs. This is like, this phase is going to take like 2-3 years. And so if there's 50 fucking projects coming out every day, and we're 3 years away from like the scale that everybody feels will be here tomorrow, what do you think is going to happen? These same 50,000 people are only going to have so much time. And a lot of the money that's running around is because people made a lot of money in the short term on CryptoPunks or Bitcoin or Ethereum. That's going to dry up. So, I'm incredibly concerned about the projects. I think that, I do think there'll be 5 projects from the VFriends, Bored Ape, Cool Cats, like that crew. Like I do believe there'll be 3 to 5 projects that do really well from an investment standpoint. I do think that most people are in it right now financially and looking at these as investments. And as that goes, I think 98% of things are concerning. And I think, I see somebody mention, Jason, buy projects with a narrative. I for one don't give a shit about the white papers or the roadmaps. They mean nothing to me. I've been investing my whole life. People show me their roadmaps and their investments all the time. I don't care what your fucking plan is. Can you fucking execute it? It's very nice that you're telling me what you're gonna do. Every company I've ever invested in told me they were gonna make me rich and it was gonna crush and be the biggest company in the world. And oh, by the way, 98% of them have gone out of business. There's gonna be an enormous amount of carnage with investing in the projects that are out. Just because a project's old doesn't mean it's good either. Just because I'm looking at 17, 18, 19, that doesn't mean it's good either. But Daniel, what got me to the excitement level I did of the 2 projects I've been most excited about, there's 3 projects I've been excited about over the last 6 to 8 weeks for real, outside of like dabbling. World of Women on a pure, I like the team. That's my intuition. I like the art. That's my intuition. I like the community. That's my intuition. And I like the way it looks. And I feel people can associate with it. That's my intuition. That's 4 guesses. Number 2, Tom Sachs Rocket Factory. Tom Sachs is one of the most successful contemporary artists in the world. He also put together maybe the best project in my subjective opinion, besides VFriends, with doing real life stuff. Put 3 pieces together, make a rocket. We're gonna film the shooting of the rocket. The rocket's gonna come down. I'm gonna put it in a glass case and send it to you. Oh, by the way, Tom Sachs's art in a physical form normally is valued at like $30,000 to $60,000 on the low end. And I get a token and that? Wild. So to me, that was brilliant. And I know he's running it and in it for life. And then number 3 was this Crypto Strikers. Why? It's very personal. One of my favorite sets of all time is something called Burke Ross. It's a sports card from the 50s, an entrepreneur in a wild, wild west, East Coast Brooklyn style, just made baseball cards without the rights from the league and the players, and he just put them out in his cookies. It's a crazy story. Let me see if I can put this in for you guys. It's a wild story. It's super rare. Found it. It's super like, kind of like pirate, and Crypto Strikers, kind of represents to me the earliest sense of, Ethereum projects. It was early 2018, made for an iconic moment of the World Cup. To your point and mine, like it's got some of the greatest footballers of all time in the modern era in the set. Kevin De Bruyne and
yeah,
Messi.
De Bruyne, I think is still underrated in there. But
I agree. And
yeah,
Suarez, so I know enough about proper football to be dangerous. And so the other thing I'm looking for is I'm enjoying this era. I'm trying to figure out what's going to be everyone's rookie NFT. So I come from sports card world. I believe from 2017 to 2022, there will be the establishment in a 5-year window that will be trading in 90 years from now on everyone's rookie NFT. And I believe Crypto Strikers could be Messi's and Ronaldo's and Mbappe's, rookie NFT. And if that's right, brother. And by the way, the other thing I like about it is it looks like Kaboom's, which is my favorite subset in sports cards from the art standpoint. So there's just a lot about it I like. And it's also the most popular global sport in the world, and blockchain is global. There's a lot that I like about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Gary. No, appreciate you bringing me on the call. I'll let someone else get a question. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Next up is board Becky.
I'm going to call it Mbappe, not Mbappe, if you guys don't mind. Becky.
Hi. Can you see me? This is crazy.
I don't know if I can see yet. Hold on. Usually it populates to the front screen. Keep talking.
Hi, Gary. This is really exciting. I'm definitely not prepared for video here.
No worries.
Yeah, my boyfriend in the background is like, is that Gary Vaynerchuk? Yes, it is. So anyways, yeah, I'm board Becky. I'm involved with the Fame Lady Squad takeover. We're really focused on sort of fostering the community that we have right now. And I don't want to plug that by any means, but
it's Becky, it's one of the most important things going on, right? We have this, we have this project that I incredibly jumped on immediately because it's very important and continues to be very important for me to see all kinds of representation in NFT land. It's only good for the space. It's only good for society. I like the art. It came out, I got excited, right? I didn't do as much homework, which is why I did so much homework on this crypto strikers and like found the founder and like, you go through it. Ends up that it's misrepresentation. Everyone, obviously collapses. You and many others in the community come in to save it, fix it, make it better. Luckily, there was some humanity on the founder side and the other side. They hand over the project, right? To, in essence, it eventually ends up in your hand. And it's kind of cool. It's like a real fun thing to watch, to see if something can be resurrected. I always believe turning something bad into something good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's our focus right now. I mean, I have some logistical questions that might not be appropriate for this format, but maybe from more of a macro level, what do you think would be the most important thing for a group like us to be thinking about as we look to rebuild this and really look to focus on something that could be sustainable?
I think that second part was the best part. You need to do two things. It's like nonprofits. I'm on a lot of boards. I'm involved with a lot of stuff. And I always tell them, just because you're a nonprofit doesn't mean people should give you money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like there's audacity and expectation. There's a lot of things people can do. And just because this is being resurrected from a bad situation doesn't mean everyone should care or anything like that, right? Mm-hmm. The reality is this project has a great springboard now with your energy and the rest of the community, but it's going to come down to what you can do with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's got this kind of moment in time, and you're going to have people on both sides of the aisles like, fuck, and you might be rebranding it. I've seen some of your DMs, right? Fuck that project, or let's all support this project. But in 12 months, in 24 months, it's going to come down to how good you are.
Mm-hmm. So when you're thinking about that, I mean, I've been really lucky because I sort of stumbled upon a couple of really great partners with skill sets that are way beyond my skill sets in this space anyhow. How would you, if you were me, be thinking about finding the right people to bring in or turn this over to, or whatever that might mean, especially in a space where we don't really all know one another and we're all entering it with kind of, it's all exploratory, even for people that are much more on the tech side than I am. Like, how do we find the right people and figure out who we can trust? And by that, I mean more like trust their capacity and their skills.
Well, you don't. When you're guessing, when you're hiring, you're guessing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're now asking how to run a business.
Good point. Well, I mean, this has been a crazy week. I'll just put that out there.
and it's amazing. I think, look, I'll try to help as much as I can, but you can tell I'm a little bit underwater and I'll poke in and out, but rely on people you trust. People want, it's imperative that you find people that have done it before, right? And then you got to ask yourself what you're trying to do. Like, for example, people the biggest confusion with VFriends is people think it's about VCon.
Yeah.
Right? Like VCon is like an added value little cherry on top.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People ask me, what am I doing with VFriends? I say, I'm doing what Noah Maxwell has on his backdrop right now. I'm building intellectual property that people are going to give a shit about. Pokemon came out as a fucking, card game and a Game Boy video game. And, 25, 30 years later, people want to do a million different things with it, whether it's buy toys, play the app, find virtual Pokechus in the AR world, buy video games, watch movies. I'm going to develop the characters.
Yeah.
What are people going to do? I think that almost every project that has come out this summer is in the intellectual property game.
Yeah.
That's why I know 99% are going to fail.
Yeah, that's one of our big question marks on the logistics sides about IP and what IP we own and how we can use it moving forward. And that's why we've been having a conversation.
Yeah, that makes sense. You have to definitely get, if you don't own that, you're not building a business.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Gary, I really appreciate the time. I know there's other people here. I just want to say the only reason I'm here at all is because I listened to you and bought my first NFT and I have 4 VFriends. So I'm rooting for you. You guys and your Discord is my home. So I really appreciate it. Really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. All right.
Let's keep it going, May.
Hayden?
Hey, Gary.
Hey, Adrian.
So I was involved in Top Shot a little while ago, and I was in the sneaker reselling. So NFTs, I guess, kind of came natural with all this. Just
Mhm.
so, my thing is, I'm fairly new, and I'm just looking to see where I can find the best projects, like where to look to find like good
Of
projects.
course.
Helping
I
side.
think Twitter and Discord like live in it. And think back to when you started the sneaker flipping game. There was a day one where you went somewhere to like read top 10 list of the hottest sneakers coming out, right?
Yeah,
Now this is different because it's so wild, wild west and it's new and nobody really knows. I didn't think those little fucking penguins were gonna explode this week.
mm,
Like you don't know. You don't know. And so what you need to do is and this will make sense to you, play with a bag that you can afford to lose. You got to start there. Is it $1? Is it $1 million? Play with a bag that you can afford to go to zero. Because when you can afford to go to zero, you're in it for the education, not stressing that you have to make a flip because that fucks everyone up. My friends, everybody's in here. You can't play in NFTs with money that you can't afford to lose. If you're even if you're fucking sitting with a VFriends bag that's monstrous and like I could die tomorrow. Now that might make them go up. I don't know how shit works, but I could. So then what? Right? Like you can't play with a bag that in NFT that you can afford to lose. So first rule number one, you have to play with money you can afford to lose. And if this hit for you and you've got 4 VFriends, then sell one, make all your profits back, and then play. Like, even though I believe in it the most on anything on earth, so there's that.
Yeah.
But Aiden, I think it's learning. Like I spent fucking hundreds of hours in Discords, watching YouTube videos, reading Twitter before I said a word.
yeah, I've been all over these
I
boards.
spent 50 hours on CryptoPunks before I moved back
Yeah.
in January. 50. And I don't have out of time.
For me it's tough because there's so many projects coming out and it's hard to really vet what
You
really
saw what happened, Aiden. I didn't buy any Top Shot. I think it's one of the most important things that have happened, but I understand sports cards too much. And once I saw how the prices were going, I'm like, this is not sustainable. You can't make 1,300 Terry Rozier cards highlights and think it's going to work out. And that's what's happening overall with NFTs right now.
yeah, it's the same type of thing. Like when Top Shot was exploding in like February and there's getting all the media attention and stuff like that. I was part of that, and that's when I started making my money. But on the NFT side, like away from Top.
Hayden, let's talk about Top Shot. Did you get left with the bag, or did you move enough, or something in between?
I made a couple $1,000s, so
it's huge.
But I have about like 25 moments left, and took them all off the marketplace, and I'm just comfortable with holding those.
Good for you. Listen, I think my recommendation when people have a softer bag is to not guess on minting and wait for something to get a little traction, and then pay a little vig, and then really ride that out.
Yeah,
you're gonna pay more, but right now people are just guessing.
Yeah.
When I mint, I'm watching how they're minting because I have Series 2 come out.
Yeah.
This is why I keep making this video. Do not buy what I'm buying. I'm going to talk about the things I believe in. I don't talk about a lot of things I don't believe in because I'm stuck. I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. People are like, this is absurd how people fucking talk to me. They're like, Gary, you can't promote projects. I'm like, fuck you. I spent my whole life putting out good content so that you didn't earn my audience. I earned my audience. And if you think I'm gonna go buy 100 fucking funny frogs or penguins or whatever the fuck, and then so that I can tell all of you that it's awesome, so that I can then sell it. First of all, I keep a public fucking wallet for this reason. My wallet's not hard to find. It's the blockchain. All this shit I got for sports cards when I didn't fucking sell anything. I'm like, oh, I like NFTs better. Here it is. Here's my fucking wallet. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. So. But you can't follow what I'm buying. I'm buying for different reasons. I'm looking at how they mint. I'm looking at scarcity levels, and I can afford to spend $3,000 on a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Most people can't.
All right, Gary, I appreciate it. I love all your videos.
Thank you, brother.
I really appreciate this. This is going to be recorded.
Yeah, we got this. Aiden, where do you live?
I'm in Toronto. I'm just outside of Toronto.
And are you in high school? 15, right?
High school. I took a year off. I worked. I'm a barber. I cut hair. I sell.
You want to move to New York and do an internship with us?
I'd love to do something like that. I definitely
email me.
For sure. Where can I find your email?
It's Gary at VaynerMedia.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome very much. Let's get one more in.
Craig,
Craig?
You gotta be kidding me. I'm just sitting here next to Aiden on my screen here, and Aiden says he's outside of Toronto, and I'm outside of Toronto, right? You
So
know,
Craig, yeah, Craig, I mean, and by the way, this is the number one thing I want with Be Friends. I wanted to build a community, right? I look at the Star Trek conventions. I look at the Disney stuff. I look at Wrestling Con. I look at Comic Con. Craig, you and Aiden have to be friends. Like if you're that close.
oh, for sure, for sure. Like it's, well, I've
message
been
each other in the
active.
chat.
I mean, I see Tim over there in the top of my screen too, and Alyssa was on here before, and we're all part of the V Friends Discord and whatnot. Like I was in the, and of course in the V Friends, but also on Clubhouse and Let's V Friends. And I was there on day one when, you know, you jumped in there with Sal and Nicole, and you just given Corso the gift goat. Adam there got his rabbit.
Yep.
You know, he's getting his tattoo with his rabbit.
It
You
was a
said the
great night.
47 seconds. Like it was insane, right? Like you know, a lot of people in there know my story. I'm like 53. I did a bit of a reset, used to do outside sales, not really what I wanted.
Hold
I'm
on one
taking a
second.
6-month
Hold
boot
on,
camp
Craig,
course.
I apologize.
Yep.
Jerseyborn.eth said, who knew Gary was huge in Canada? Jerseyborn.eth. We're huge in the fucking world, baby.
Oh yeah.
All right, keep it going.
Exactly. No, I was just saying, like I'm taking a 6-month boot camp course on full stack, whatever, just trying to, you know, do a reset and a pivot into
Good for you.
that area. You know, it's related to stuff I've done in the past and whatever. And, you know, so my question, I guess, what I sort of wrote down here was if, you know, how like right now it's like you said, it's 47 seconds in. I just been holding on. It's 47 seconds in. I'm doing this course. It's over in November. Like I can't be on here every minute, whatever, if I'm focusing on that. It's it is a boot camp, right? And so I'm not watching every day, everything, looking at all these project stuff, whatever. Like I had to pick my thing. I'm doing this other thing, right? You know, and take care of the family first is the idea. Let me get a job that will pay, and there's a potential. And when I get some money that I can play a bit more with, and then there we go, right? But like, do you think that like right now, obviously there's been some crazy opportunities, and you know, but we are saying it's 47 seconds in. But do you think that there's opportunities that are happening right now that like just will not happen again, or like in 6 months or a year or 2 years or 3 years, there's still going to be opportunities?
The answer is
Not opportunities, but you know what I mean. Opportunities right now.
I know exactly what you're answering.
You can pay low money now and make a lot of money, whereas there maybe it would cost
I got
more.
you. Of course. The answer is in 6 or 12 months, there will not be the same opportunity of ridiculousness which is why this is a moment. Here's the problem. 98% won't be that.
Yeah.
So it's
a big guess.
Both.
It's a lottery. Yeah.
It's both.
Yeah.
It doesn't. This is why I like it. I don't think it's lottery. I think it's homework.
Yes.
And intuition and pattern recognition and a few other things, but it's not lottery. I'm not going to get lucky. I haven't gotten lucky with CryptoPunks. I didn't get lucky with CryptoPunks. I didn't. I put in the work. I looked at pattern recognition. You know, like VFriends didn't launch successfully by accident. That was 20 years of work of knowing how to do shit. I don't think I'm wrong about Tom Sachs rockets. And I think Crypto Strikers is an interesting one. Like, I don't think I'll be wrong if it hits. If it fails, I understand. And I take those L's all the time. Whereas with Chubbies and Fame Lady Squad, I just like the art and I got excited and I was being like a consumer. But on the things that I bought like 10 or 12 of, but I got excited. Now I'm trying to be a little bit less excited because I didn't realize how everybody would just follow anything. If we talk, even though I say don't buy one, you know, everyone's like buying and I don't want that for you. But for me, I don't think it's a lottery ticket. I think it's work.
Yeah. I know the terrible thing for you is when you tend to say something, it often is right.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing, but you know what I mean? It is risky when, you know, a lot of people are listening and they can do stuff with money, like you said, that they can't, you know, so it's tricky, whatever. But I got to say that like the whole concept, aside from, you know, all this stuff and whatever else, but your whole concept around the VFriends characteristics and traits and whatnot is gold. Like I believe that like wholeheartedly, like I align with that and relate to that like so much. And the community that's been built, you know, from that is gold, not just for me, but for almost everybody that's in here. I hear it all the time in the different clubs and places that I'm in. And, you know, we just really, really appreciate what
Thank
you're
you.
doing.
Thank
And
you.
the fact that like, it's not lost on me that like, even here, I jump in a Zoom call, I'm 500 people away from Garyvee. I've watched, you know, tea with Garyvee a few times, people saying like, you know, I've been following you for 10 years and it took me that long to get with you. You know what I mean?
I
And
appreciate that, bro.
the closeness and the amount of caring that you can see that you give us in the Discord and in forums like this is insane and unheard of in the world that you travel. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen on a regular basis.
Of course, it's why we're not going to be it's why we're going to be a different community.
Yes.
I always laugh. I know I'm underrated. We haven't even started. We're doing different things because we're different.
Exactly.
I made enough money for my life to be happy when I made $100,000 a year. That happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
On a completely different course with completely different ambitions. And when people look at what happens with VFriends, like, do you know how much joy I get that people sitting here that do have 10 ETH and they're buying 4 stupid projects and VFriends are sitting there at 7 ETH? It makes me happy. I like it. I like being underestimated, even by my biggest fans.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I appreciate it. You know, like there's been a number of times in the Discord and different things where, you know, there could have been opportunity to have a chat with you and the chance to,
I'm
the
glad.
fact that out of 500, I got this chance, that's just the gold.
Makes me
I
happy,
appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Love you every day.
Team, I'm going to jump back into Discord. I got to go do some family stuff. I had this window. I wanted to give back some love. Couple things. Don't be scared to take some profits off the board with your second, third, fourth, and fifth favorite projects you're in. Whether it's VFriends or something else, you don't have to do that with your first one. But don't be scared to with your second, third, fourth, and fifth. I am incredibly concerned by how many projects are coming out every day. I think this is going to be very hard to sustain what we're seeing right now. So if you're day trading NFTs, be thoughtful what you're playing with. Be very thoughtful, because when it turns and it's done. People always think they can catch the market. You cannot catch the market. Far smarter people than you and I did not catch the market every time the market collapsed in real estate, the stock market, Beanie Babies, sports cards, sneakers. Like, be thoughtful, be fucking smart, and put in real homework. Don't buy shit just because I bought it or somebody else that you think is doing well bought it. Like, do your homework, spend time in the Discords, make relationships, and never give out your secret seed phrase. Nobody will ever ask for it. It will never happen. Nobody, not MetaMask, not Coinbase, not OpenSea, not me. We're still in the early Wild Wild West stage, and people are getting their stuff stolen, which is unfortunate. I want to use this moment again to remind you, this is what comes. The beautiful thing about the blockchain is nobody's in charge. The bad thing is nobody's in charge. When people get their VFriends stolen and they hit me up and they're like, I can't do shit about it. I can put public pressure, but these are hidden so be thoughtful. This is a special time. That's why it's amazing and scary. It's special. It's different. That's what it's supposed to be. So do your homework, and I'll see you in the VFriends Discord in a few minutes. We can chat a little bit. Love you. Have a great weekend. Great rest of the weekend. Bye, everyone. YouTube watcher, what's up? It's Garyvee. First of all, thank you so much. I hope you're doing super well during these times. I also want to ask you, please subscribe, because my commitment and exploration of YouTube is about to explode. Stories, polls, more content, more engagement, more surprise and delight. This is the time to subscribe. I hope you consider it, and I hope I see you soon.